All right, here we are, a few guys in a beard getting ready to talk about some real estate stuff here amidst all the shutdowns and COVID-19. But we thought we'd throw this out there to see what kind of advice we can share with you guys. So who wants to start us off? What are we doing right now? Luke's muted. I can't get him unmuted. There we go. You guys here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm good.
All right, let's roll. What do you guys?
Can you hear me?
Downtime.
I just been chilling. I've been enjoying it, man. It's like it's been like the first time in a while that I'm not like constantly thinking about deals, constantly thinking about the next day, you know? It's been kind of
Not worrying about a haircut either, I see.
Zipped it off, dude. I couldn't get to my barber, so I was like, I can't go another month. I'm just gonna buzz it down.
Looks good, man. That's why I got the hat on.
For me, number one.
What about you, Chris and Luke?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank God. What was the question? I had to leave. The internet hated me.
What are you doing with all this downtime? How are you keeping relevant?
A couple thousand push-ups every day. Say the rosary a few times.
Not true.
Naturally.
It's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Relevant. What does that even mean?
Well, first, are you doing 1,000 push-ups in a row, or are you kind of breaking that up by one at a time?
I have a lot of stamina. I don't need to break it up.
Yeah, I figured.
I just bang it out. But I've enjoyed the time, to be honest. Like it's such an insane, unprecedented time. But dude, I was outside with my kids today for like 4 hours, just doing random nonsense, and I enjoy every second of it. And you know, I'm just trying to make the best out of the situation. Real estate wise, I mean, everything's just lined up. Called a couple past clients, say hello, reach out, and you know, you can continue the lead generation prospecting part right now. I just can't set any appointments, which throws a huge kink in everything. But yeah, that's it. You know, I'm just taking it day by day. As cliche as that might be, it's the only way to do this and not lose your top.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I just keep you know, monitoring the news and the changes that are happening in the industry, as well as you know, I had a large list of potential people that were considering listing their house come, you know, spring market. So I'm reaching out to them, seeing what they're up to, their thoughts, their feelings. A lot of people are scared of the unknown. You know, this is unprecedented, and people don't know what they're going to do, whether they're still going to list their house, whether they're going to wait, who knows what. So I'm just trying to keep getting out there and keeping people informed.
Luke and I were talking yesterday, and I think we shared the common sentiment that we were a little pissed off. And I decided I'm going to take a little break from the news. Just, I don't want to deal with it. I want to keep on serving my clients and building up my business as best I can. And I think that we need to be reminded on a daily basis, especially when we're shut down, that what we do now, even though there's no tangible good, we're not actually out there showing properties. We're not closing a whole lot of deals unless we have them in the pipeline. We have to stay motivated. We have to keep on putting our content out, filling our pipelines, and be ready to roll once this lifts. So turning off the news has been a nice adjustment for me today. I've been in a much better mood.
It's good.
Played some two-hand touch with my kids. I won, naturally.
Unfair, but okay.
I'm a little bit bigger than them.
Yeah, I was talking to another agent. And it's like, we could do everything we do except have physical appointments, which you could do virtual appointments, honestly. So, I mean, there's only one thing that we do on a daily basis that we can't do right now. Everything else you could essentially do if you wanted to.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And that's kind of the trap that I found myself falling into yesterday. Was I can still do 90% of my business.
Yeah.
But I
You
got
could.
complacent and angry, and I didn't do it yesterday. So now picking myself back up. I do have a virtual showing tonight. I just wrote a contract here this afternoon. So we are still transacting. We are still doing business. So can you guys tell me what are the things you're doing right now to separate yourselves from everybody else that may be taking this as a vacation?
I think right now is just the perfect time to follow up with every single person you did a transaction with in your whole career. You know what I mean? Like, how many agents really could sit down and have a conversation with every single person they did a transaction with throughout their whole career? I think that's going to be huge. You know, it's tough. It's tough when you're out on appointments, showing a lot of homes. You're in the middle of the spring market to do that. You know, and I don't think there's any excuse not to do that during this.
Yeah, definitely. Filling your pipeline and creating the valuable content to get them the best information possible. How about you, Luke?
Yeah, just checking in with them. You know what I mean? How you doing? It doesn't even have to be anything about real estate. Just, you know, checking in and seeing maybe they actually need something, you know?
Where did you get that haircut?
The wife.
You look
Wife,
sharp,
zipped it.
like a young child.
Dude, I haven't had a buzz cut in, I don't know, 15 years. Feels good.
Rolling things back.
Getting back to my roots.
I don't know, man. Yep. Get your roots on. I have a different, I guess, sediment right now, as in I'm staying on top of everything. But I've been really stuck in this, I don't know if it's a mindset, but like things have changed so drastically that most people, I don't believe, even grasp that yet. And, you know, I'm not speaking into like, you know, catastrophist type of a you know, situation. It's just there's so much change that happened all at once, and this change is going to continue. And even if it was like, hey, guess what, guys, everybody go back to work and everything's as of normal tomorrow, just from whatever it's been 2.5 weeks, there's lasting change in there. And I don't, you know, I just think about it and I'm like, well, this is going to go one of two ways. I mean, either we're going to be brought together closer as a society and as a community and get back to maybe the way things are, air quotes, supposed to be, you know, or it's just really, really bad. And I'm hoping for the opposite. I think it could be a really good time to pull together and really pay attention to all the shit that matters. And like, with that being said, I look at my job as a real estate agent or anybody's job, and it's like, I'm just concerned about my family and friends right now and how everybody's doing and how everybody's handling it. And might not be the best thing for business, but you know, I think all those things will work themselves out. But it's just such an insane time. It's definitely not the time to treat it as a complete vacation, but I do believe people would be remiss if they didn't take this opportunity to take a break. You know,
Yeah,
and you
definitely
think about all
slow down.
dude, think about all the times that we've had where we're like, you know, it's just been like 4 or 5 months where you've worked literally like 80 hours a week to get everything done. And you're like, oh my God, I wish I could have a break, but you just don't, because real estate can turn into a bit of a rat race if you allow it to. And I think taking advantage of that time, that mandated time right now, to just, you know, do some self-reflection, some chilling, some whatever it is, whatever things that you wanted to do, obviously minus travel because we can't go anywhere. But I don't know, maybe I have a different view on things than most. You tell me, boys.
I agree with you, man. It's like, look at this. We could be in quarantine for another 2 months. You know what I mean? It's like we have plenty of time to take a breather here. You know, it's funny. It's like when this first started happening, all those agents were like still trying to get into houses, still trying to get appraisals done and everything. I'm just like, take a deep breath and sit back for a second. You know, we're gonna have time, but I think it's also important that and also a really good time that you can put a good plan together and get your systems together too. You know, at some point.
I agree. I have a visitor. Sophie, you want to say hi to everybody on the internet?
Hi.
Say hi. Look at Sophie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful. Hello, everybody. My name's Paper Doll. How the hell are you? I did not do 1,000 push-ups today because I'm lazy. Sorry.
Adorable paper doll.
That was a paper doll. From Sophie. God love her. All right, what were you talking about? I don't know. I got sidetracked.
What about you, Mark? What have you been doing?
Actually, this is a perfect example of what every day's been like for the past 2 weeks. I do something for 6 to 10 minutes and just disrupted. And when I try to go against the grain and think I could change that, my day sucks and I'm angry and I'm pissed off. When I realize I need to accept these things and the kids are home and the wife's home and we're all here and whatever, and we just got to do it. I feel much better. But I've gone like.
So let's talk about that then.
Yeah, because I think it's a real thing for everybody. Doesn't matter what profession or thing you're in.
And
kids are home.
So how do we break up that time and where should our focus be? Are you guys, do you know what the Pomodoro method is? Or Pomodoro technique?
No.
I don't speak Spanish.
There's something called a tomato timer. I think it's tomato-timer.com. Just a simple app. I've been setting on my computer. In the end of each day, I write down a few high-value tasks that I want to accomplish every day. This is for right now. Maybe it's only 1 or 2, and that's my goal for the next day, knowing that we're under different circumstances. So I'll block out an hour in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon to make sure I get at least those 2 or 3 tasks done. And because my attention is already bad, and now I have kids coming into my office and affecting me even more, I use this tomato timer. I set it for 25 minutes, and I stay on whatever that task is. So for 25 minutes, I work specifically on that one task. Then I take a 5-minute break, and then I do it again. And then I go on to something else entirely different. So I know that I'm getting at least 3 solid hours of real work in each day. And now I have a visitor now too. So come on in. You can say hi to the people. The people. You want to say hi?
Doing some good old time blocking.
Time blocking.
That was
Get out of your face.
That's my paper doll.
I believe the general public's curious. What were your 2 to 3 tasks that you had to do today?
Today was this phone call. No, I'm actually the most important thing on my timeline every morning. I've been giving an hour to is protecting my own house. So you guys I'm sure you're aware of the SBA funding and the stimulus package. So I've been going back and forth with my lenders and trying to protect my assets, whether that's loan forbearance on a couple properties, or more specifically today, I was working on the SBA 7A, going back with one of the SBA lenders that I work with. That's been really my most important thing, and that's something I think we should dive into a little bit more. And this afternoon was, like Chris mentioned, client outreach. Just making phone calls, a solid 2 hours.
Well, you are a testament to what is good in life and what a good role model you are.
You're just saying that because she's right here.
I am. and as soon as she leaves, I'm going to say a curse word. But I'm not going to do it now. You don't leave. You can stay.
Okay, you can go before it says bad words.
I'm not going to say any bad words.
So what's up, Chris Madden? You're awful quiet down there.
No, I'm just listening. You know, I'm interested of how many people, at least in my area, would be resistant to virtual appointments. Because you know, most people I've talked to are just on a hold until this thing passes. But as far as everything else goes, yeah, I mean, it's just work as usual. I mean, there will be a new day where this is over, and it's how to best serve clients that will be in a different situation than they were 2 months ago.
So you don't think people in your area would do virtual tours?
No, virtual tours, that's different. But I mean, as far as virtual listing appointments, most of the people in my area are.
I think if you just pick, like, hey, look at this is informal. There's no, you know, you don't have to commit to anything. This is totally me giving you value on getting your home ready for sale at some point this year, hopefully. You know, if you pitch it as value, why wouldn't they? If they're serious about getting their home on the market at some point this year.
Well, I'm sure you guys all have listings in the pipeline here. What are you telling your clients right now? I'm curious because I have a few that are asking me, you know, should we list right now? Should we put them into the coming soon portal, or should we just wait it out? And my advice so far has been, let's take it day by day. If the goal was today to get listed, let's wait until Friday, see what news comes down, and then put it into the coming soon listings until we can actually get out there. What do you guys
I've been
think?
telling them just until we're not restricted as real estate agents, do not put your house on the market. I mean, why would you put it up if you know you're going to be limited on showings? You know.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the area.
I mean, if it's a land listing, that's one thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get as many showings. It's just plain and simple.
You guys are in a different MLS than me. Do you have a coming soon option?
Nope, our
No.
MLS started out of 1984.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a difference.
Unless someone really needs to try to move a property, I think it's not a good idea.
Well, what do you guys think as far as the federally real estate being on the list of import, whatever the freaking term was, services, and now PAR is petitioning the governor to recognize that in our state?
I missed the first part of that, Chris. What'd you say?
Federally, they said real estate is part of the essential services. So now PAR is using that information to petition the governor to add real estate to the list of essential services. So that's literally happening as we speak, as they're petitioning the governor to release us to go back into the wild.
I think dude, we're not essential. We're just not essential to living, man. I mean, I don't even know what the argument would be.
Well, the argument would be that the CDC says limit groups to 10 or under people, and I've never done a showing with 10 people. I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it. I mean, what's the difference of me going to the coffee shop and getting a coffee, or me going to take out pizza and grabbing a pizza, or me walking through a house? It's still one person to one person contact.
Yeah, I don't like the term essential. I think if you use common sense, I think what's happened here kind of needed to happen just to get people to see how serious it is. But the shutdown's hurting a lot of people in a different kind of way. And if you can use common sense, which I think most people are capable of, maybe I'm giving too much credit.
Nope, absolutely.
You are giving way too much credit. Common
We can
sense
show
is
houses and use common sense. I can show a house and not be near anybody or touch anything.
In New York City, like the epicenter of this in our country, the freaking hospital ship rolled into port yesterday, and more than 1,000 people came out to watch it happen. That in the hard hit area in the city, there's 1,000 people sitting there watching the ship. So when you say most people have common sense, I strongly disagree.
All right. I take that back. Let's do it like this. Everybody has to take a test. You have to take a common sense test. And if you can pass it, you can go back to your job and not be a dick.
Right.
I hope that test costs some money.
Yeah, definitely. It'll help with the stimulus that we already paid for. So that's
Good.
another topic.
I just don't. The way I look at it, guys, is like you have no idea if that buyer that you're taking into someone's private residence has coronavirus or not. Unless we have a test that you could test someone, I don't feel comfortable bringing some person that I don't know if has it or not into someone's private residence.
You're right.
That's
But-
totally wrong.
But
It is.
there's ways we can do this though. It'd be a lot easier for, even if the listing agent can go through and do video tours. You know, give us an option, give us some type of restrictions to at least show these properties or get virtual tours set up so that we can at least have 3D imaging for clients that are looking to buy. Like if you look in the Danville market right now or Lewisburg, this is high times right now. You have thousands of people that are moving into that area that need housing. Like there's no other options for them. I have vacant rentals in Danville and Bloomsburg I can't get people into because I'm not allowed to show them. So what do you do in that scenario? There's got to be some type of leeway.
You wait until we're out of quarantine.
They can't wait. These are medical professionals that need housing.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's on the hospitals to house them then.
I would say in that particular circumstance, Mark, you can indeed show like that's a separation, right? So that's not a function of being a real estate agent. Like if you have rentals that you specifically own, I mean, it's your choice then, you know, but
Yeah.
you can still, without breaking any sort of, you know, mandates right now, you know, I believe that to be
I'm talking as a realtor. I'm not,
Yeah. Right.
me, myself, I don't want to be around other people, but as a realtor, people do need a place to live and somebody needs to show them.
Yeah, I would say that I don't believe the real estate agent to be 100% essential at the moment. However, there is a multitude of different circumstances and cases where you can say, like, just like that, like, listen, yeah, medical professionals are moving to this area that need to get in here and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that is fairly essential. People that were set to close, you know, on a home, whatever it was a week ago, that have already sold their other home and are moving to this home, and now they're in a, you know, whatever, a Motel 8 or something like that. Like that is essential that they get, you know, like their home.
Right.
So it's kind of like there is, I would say that there is many circumstances in which you can say like, yeah, this is an essential function for that circumstance. But in the aggregate of like, hey, I'm looking for a home or I'm going to be selling my home and there's no urgency behind that. Yeah, that's non-essential. So I guess that's probably where the debate and the battle would be there. And if, you know, anybody's going to be lobbying for this, trying to get it done, they would just go with the, hey, here's 10 reasons why it's essential, and it's not hard to come up with 10 of them. So, you know,
Yeah.
Potato, tomato.
Yep.
So are you guys are you keeping any type of routine or are you kind of just winging it as you go?
My routine's totally whacked out, man. I go to the office. I do go to the office every day, and I haven't been doing that. So now trying to work from home and like work the same kind of hours that I do at the office has been very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
Out of my element right now.
Yeah.
I made an attempt to keep a schedule because I think that's super important right now, to stay in your normal routine as much as you can to bring normalcy to life, because life's pretty crazy right at the moment for everybody. But you know, I've just succumbed to that. I have 3 little people that, you know, need to be in their routine more than I do. So I just, you know, put the kids first and then kind of work and do things when I can. But it's, you know, someday, like I said before, some days it's cool. It's like, all right, I got it. Great, whatever. And other days it's like you feel you're on a roll and you just get slapped in the face and you're like, you know, it's just ups and downs. But you know, I realize when I take it too seriously, it kind of sucks. And when I just roll with it, it's just much better.
I don't know that you have to keep the same routine, but some type of day-to-day, something. Just so you're,
routine.
yeah, it doesn't have to be the same as what you were doing before, but I think that is important. Get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, walk the dog at the same time, do your poo, whatever. Thanks for that, Luke.
Did you just say poo?
Yeah, you gotta stay regular. It's important.
Poo.
Helps you think better.
He called this shit poo. Chris Madden really looks like a bump on a log today.
The hat.
Listen, I'm doing good. I'm gonna go ahead and say I've been thriving in the last week, 10 days.
What does that mean?
Thriving. Wow.
I'm just doing good. Like you said, Mr. Shaw said, I'm doing everything I do every day anyway, other than the physical meets. Coming up with marketing, communicating with current clients, past clients, giving up-to-date information to future clients. I've been using the downtime from not physically meeting clients to get back into a workout routine. So, I realize it's a break, but I'm using it to set myself up in hopes or in case that when this does break, it's 24/7 work from the time that, we've missed. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't think it necessarily will, but I'm preparing for that outcome.
Yeah, do that to a point, have to start preparing for that, because what's going to happen when the governor says, yo, realtors, you can get back out there? It's probably going to be a free-for-all, man.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a free-for-all because just because the governor says we're essential, we can go back out to work, the threat remains the same. You know what I mean? So if you're worried about catching it, well, it's not safe just because real estate.
No, it's not safe, but I know I'm getting on the phone with all my buyers saying, yo, we could look at houses now.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
25 showings for every buyer that's been nagging me for the last 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But I do think it's going to create new obstacles to overcome. That person that doesn't want to list right now because people are still not feel safe being out, taking risks, things like that.
I think what you're doing, Chris, is the right thing, because there's no doubt going to be, at least in my opinion, some type of pullback a little bit. Buyers are going to be a little bit nervous. Sellers may be in the same boat where they don't want to sell right away because they think their values went down or whatever. So there's not going to be as many transactions straight out of the gate, and whoever positions themselves well right now is going to be at a huge advantage. But what do you think some of the positives are that could come out of this in a strictly real estate perspective?
I think you're going to have a pent-up demand. I disagree with you when you say we're going to see a drop-off in transactions, man. I think a lot of buyers they're just getting pent up. They're just holding back until they could get back out there, and houses are going to get listed.
But
I don't have the stat off the top of my head, but there's a stat that shows how many deals in our MLS last year were of a certain loan, and the FHA alone, like hundreds of people last year that bought a house with FHA are no longer qualified to buy based off their standpoint. So right there, you're talking about, I think there's 2,200, I forget the number, but the amount of FHA loans will absolutely have to go down. The people are not able to buy it because of their credit score. Not to mention, if you were saving up for 6 months for a down payment and you had to tap into that to get through these tough times, well, now you don't have that down payment. So there's absolutely going to reflect the amount of buyer pool after coronavirus will be less than before for those reasons.
I think you're both right that there's going to be a dip because of exactly what Chris Madden just said. The FHA, USDA, they can't sell those off right now. So the credit scores are higher, the rates are going to be higher, at least for a short period of time, because the government's not going to let those programs go away. Now the stimulus should help people stay afloat if they did get laid off, because the government's basically giving away money right now. So that's my hope, is that it doesn't put people in a financial position where they're not able to move forward with their plans. But I do think there's going to be a drop for about 3 or 4 months once it opens back up before it lifts up again. But I do think we recover pretty quickly.
I think fourth quarter will be the best quarter in 2020.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this is all assuming we go back to work within the next 4 weeks.
I think right when the ban is lifted, we're going to see the same amount of transaction month over month than we traditionally do. I don't.
You're right.
If this opens up in June, if we're able to roll in June, I think we'll have just as many June transactions as there were last year.
I'll take that bet. Glad.
Zero.
Lunch on me, Mr.
Zero.
Trump.
Absolutely 0% chance of that happening.
No, I'll bet.
0.
I'll
What are
put
we
10
saying?
bucks on it.
Probability? Would you say it's a probability or a possibility of that happening? 0. That's
What? Okay, tell me why.
Oh, dude, listen, I don't want to be negative about any of this, but this is really there's 0 chance, and it's an absolute 0 chance. Just last week, and this is over a week ago, so it's way, I don't even know what the stat is right now. 3.3 million people filed for unemployment. Okay? A lot of those people that are laid off, they're not going to go back to their jobs because those jobs aren't going to exist anymore. And I'm not trying to be, negative.
Okay, so unemployed, it's 20%. March, usually we have a certain amount of buyers in March that buy in March. They could not. So 20% of those have to go to April. Now, everyone in April that usually buy has to go to May. We're making a huge pent-up demand. When this is released, we're going to see a surge. Because 3 months of pent-up demand.
You're comparing a normal March and a normal April to a pandemic. That's the problem. Like, whether or not you admit it or not, most of the country is scared. The markets took it.
Even if each month is 50% demand.
You're also forgetting the fact that we happen to be in a housing crisis, so the supply is not there. So take 300 sales in March and 300 sales in April. There's not 600 houses on the market to even buy.
We don't need 600. All we need is June.
0.
June.
No, I love you, but absolutely no chance.
I hope I'm wrong for everybody's sake, but it's not good. Okay?
I think
it's not good, dude.
I think you're totally underestimating the pent-up demand.
Because it was there, but it's there in different quantities. These people there's a lot of people that were approved for a loan before. They're not approved now. There's a lot of people that were like dipping their toes in. They don't have jobs anymore. People are running off their savings right now to live.
Okay, raise your hand if you have buyers waiting for this to get into homes.
But they might not get approved, and they might not have a job.
How many do you have waiting or saying, Chris, let me know when we can get back on homes because I want to buy a home?
I have.
Yeah.
So when this breaks, there's going to be a surge of people that want to get into houses.
Want to get into houses. I can tell you in my market, there's not houses for them to get into.
Yeah, because no one's listing right now.
Right. But you can only list so many houses a day. You can only go on so many listing appointments a day. So obviously
I could do 7 in a day.
Right. And then you're going to go home and you're going to put it all in. You're going to get all the photos. You're going to get it all up in one day. You're going to do 7 a day for a week.
Me and my wife could knock out 7.
Every day.
My wife and I.
Why wouldn't I be able to list 7 homes?
Listen, let's get back to the important stuff here. Chris and Luke have a bet, and here's what I think it should be. If Luke wins, Chris has to send him a $1 bill, and he has to write on it that Luke Medico is the most handsome man in the world. And if Chris wins, the 3 of us get to style Luke Medico's beard.
Either way,
including cuts.
I'm
And
getting
die.
paid, I'm getting paid or touched, so that's cool. Listen,
Yeah.
there's also something that wasn't talked about with the amount of sellers that, you know, Chris Madden touched on it, that may have been coming on the market and are now not going to be coming on the market because they don't want all these people in their house because they're scared. And there's also going to be current listings that are up, and as time goes on, those people might have had plans to move who knows where, but now can't because they also lost their job, right? And then there's going to be the people that have listings that are like, you know what, let's just hold off until this blows over several months. I don't want a chance having strangers in my home. There's so many factors that I will be shocked if this, you know, spring and rolling in through is like normal or okay. I will be shocked. And then I will say, hey, I stand corrected. And I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to be like, hey, I was wrong. I must have missed something there. But all of the data and stuff that's out there says, hey, things have changed. Things are going to change. You know, nothing's permanent. It always comes back. But this is a long-lasting thing. I'm telling you, if the ban went up today, you're going to have so many people that are going to be like, you know what, I don't want to. Let's take my home off the market for now.
The ban's going to be lifted when we start seeing decreases in number of infected, though.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
That ban in the middle of the height.
That doesn't mean anything. That's statistics that who knows where they're created. I don't even want to get into that whole thing, how the dips go and stuff like that. But yes, we're just going to be dictated on those things. But a lot of people that are thinking about things and are intelligent are going to be like, hey, wait a second. You're right. This just came back. It's conditioning too. It's creating habits, right? Takes about a month, give or take, to create a new habit. Unfortunately, people are going to get into the habit of staying away from other people. Just because the government says, hey, you know, we can go back to work or whatever it might be, people are going to look at other people. You're going to see people not shaking hands as much anymore. There's going to be things that happen in this that unfortunately are going to last for quite some time until we get back to a comfortability level with each other.
I'm cool with not shaking hands. I think that's archaic anyway.
I like hugging people. I think it's more hygienic and it's a better bond.
I agree.
And I'm hugging this. I don't care. I'll probably get thrown in jail.
There's science behind that. You're
right.
So let's talk about, in case we have any real estate agents listening, what's some words of advice that we can share with them on a positive note here?
Now's the time to not back off. Now's the time to double down.
Yeah.
Here's the time to back off, because once the ban's lifted, the real estate market's going to be shit anyway. Might as well just chill.
Right. And that's the positive. That's the positive of all this. Do you know why, Chris Shaw? Because what you're going to have, I'm just being straight up honest. And if it offends anybody, I'm sorry. There is entirely too many real estate agents in the world. There's many agents that should not be doing the job, that do a disservice to their clients. It's a very low bar of entry to get in. And what we're going to have here is a bit of natural selection, because it's going to get hard. It's going to be a hard market. And anybody that continues to double down, even when times are tough, they're still going to end up okay. It's just not going to be like a free-for-all like it was before. Like, hey, I just got my license. I walked ass backwards into a deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to sell.
How many people are in our MLS? Like 650? By 2021, that's going to be down to like 4 something. Mark that down too.
I don't know about that one. That's a little extreme.
It's okay. Bet me, dog.
Who are you talking to?
Anybody that wants to take it.
Chris feels like everyone's coming after him. He's like, come at me.
I'm always on the other side of the fence with you guys. Like, dude, I never have anyone in my corner. I'm always against Chris Madden and Luke.
There's definitely going to be a
Mark,
reset.
why don't you ever back me up on anything, man?
I'm getting you right now, man. I disagree with Luke on that. There's gonna definitely be some agents that are no longer agents once this clears. But there's still gonna be transactions going on. As soon as this is lifted, I mean, I'm putting on properties under contract right now. So people are still doing deals, they're still doing real estate, stuff's still gonna close. But it's definitely, there is no supply. Chris Madden's right. There's nothing out there for sale. It's gonna take time to recover. Banks aren't lending, they're pulling back their loan programs and what they're offering. It's going to take time, and we are going to lose some agents that are just starting out or that don't really know what they're doing yet.
You know who's going to survive?
Fine.
The realtors that are going to survive are realtors that know how to prospect and list property, man.
Chris Shaw going to survive. Chris Shaw is absolutely going to survive.
Listen, man, most agents are buying leads on Zillow and Realtor.com and calling that.
That's what I'm saying. I get that.
What the hell, Zillow?
If you want to survive if this does turn into a recession and it turns into a buyer's market again, it always comes down to who can list property, prospect, and list property.
Right, but most agents don't have that skill set anymore because they rely on a broker, Zillow, and Realtor.com to do the business for them. So the agents that are going to survive are the ones that are proactive and actually learn how to create those systems. So you're doing well right now. Chris is everybody's doing well on this call right now because we actually do that stuff already. But the people that don't know how and who have never been taught are going to be in trouble, no doubt. But if I'm offering up advice to anybody right now, it's this: go out and get yourself some free government money that you already paid in. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm trying to get all of it.
I filled out my application today.
It just
get all of it, man.
What did you do?
You're right, though. You're right. You're 100%.
They've screwed us over for so long, man. Go get yourself some money, protect yourself, because we don't know how long we're going to be down. They're handing this out. You could pretty much guarantee yourself $10,000 from the SBA. So go get it. The SBA 7
turn
days.
the government into Luke Medico's rent money.
It's set. Well, you have to use it for business purposes. I'm not saying go get your 10 grand and buy a Tahoe or whatever, but go get your money to sustain your business.
Buy a used Tahoe for fucking 10 grand, dude.
We'll get your money, put it towards some marketing practices or classes or whatever. Go take some classes in our world and learn how to run a freaking business.
20%. I'm gonna guarantee 20%. I'll look up the number and I'll mark it down. How many people are in the MLS? End of the year, it'll be 20% less, and I'm willing to go as far as 30 to 35 within a year's time from now.
Yeah, I don't see that. I'll take that bet. I'm rooting for the.
See, the only problem, Luke, is that these realtors, they don't sell one property and they'll just keep paying their fees and just be licensed, Like, it's going to take a while for them to drop off.
It's a different
Depends on
time.
what brokers they're with, too.
It's a different time.
Hey, some brokers
Desperate
just
times call for what? Desperate measures.
What,
Who said that?
25% to escrow their license by next year?
20.
Hey, let's wrap this up. I actually have a virtual showing in 10 minutes because I'm real estating right now. So, what's
cool.
your?
Hope you're not wearing that to your virtual showing.
I have a very professional headshot that it's going to be on my camera. I just got done working out, man. I haven't showered in 2 days.
I was gonna say you look pretty buff, and so does Chris Madden. Chris Shaw, I don't know what he's been doing.
He took 10 years off his life by buzzing his hair. Don't mess
That's good.
You do look so young.
This is not going to become the Pick on Chris Shaw podcast.
This is what it already became that.
I respectfully disagree with you on one point. Oh, Luke's already gone. Bye, Luke.
I didn't leave.
I'm bringing him back up for the next one.
But yeah, I think the most fair thing is no one knows how bad or not bad this is going to be. All we can do is position ourselves to do the best we possibly can, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, man, I think you can't totally stay off the pedal right now. I mean, take your break, but I think you do. You have to try to better your business. And when this opens back up, I mean, if you're a realtor, you got to make money. You got to make transactions happen. So you better be ready to go.
Absolutely.
We haven't really talked about that. You got to adjust to different things and the way people are going to interact when this is all done.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Luke,
Good
you got any parting words?
No, I was just thinking of my favorite John Cougar Mellencamp song. I don't know
What is
what
it?
I don't really know what the name of it is, but it's the one, oh, battery low. Hold on.
Small town. You better
Back.
quit.
Yeah, no, I was born in a small town, living down a small town.
Luke, the name of that song is Small Town.
What? Small
The name
Town.
of that song is Small Town.
Small Town. With Chris Shaw and the Small Town Thinking. See how I wrapped it in?
Small
Okay.
town thinking.
Hey, guys,
I've had enough.
I'm proud of us for not giving our unqualified opinion on COVID-19 and what it actually means. So good job for not actually talking about that.
Well, we're not doctors, you know. I wish.
Wow.
All right, fellas.
I really had to hold that. I love giving my unqualified opinion.
All right, I gotta go.
All right. Next week. See ya.
See you, fellas.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Hello.